All right. Hello.
Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 662. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is the 8th of August, 2024, and Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns.
We
In our
do.
episode 662, that's the area code for Mississippi where we
Oh, it
live.
is. That is true.
Used to be 601, and then
Did
enough
it?
people moved into Mississippi that we needed two zip codes for the whole state, or
Oh, see,
area
I didn't
codes, not
even
zip
know that.
codes.
That's
Yeah.
prior to my time in Mississippi, I think.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people have 901 numbers, which are Memphis area.
Yeah.
I kept getting calls today from they seem like legitimate calls, but they kept leaving messages over and over again about my child's physical. And I was like, oh, friends, you have the wrong number.
Try again.
Oh, it's all good. But
You want
yeah,
to tell me
so
what you're working on?
that's what I was going to segue into. I am working on two main projects. Well, actually three, but one secret. So I can't show it to y'all.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. It's really
but
cute, though. You'll really like it when she can share it.
in 2 years when it comes out, it'll be amazing. It's not gonna be that long, but it won't be available to the public for 2+ years. Um, but anyway, I am still working on my sweater. This is the Layla sweater. I'm almost out of yarn, so James and Chris of Into the World are going to dye some more fiber for me. They were going to do it this past weekend that I will purchase in the just pretentious enough colorway. Um, because this is 12 inches and this should be the full body of the sweater. Um, but it is not for me. Someone on YouTube said, well, maybe the armholes are really deep, and they might be. I'll have to look at that, but I do not want super deep armholes, so that
Yeah.
would be something that I would change. Anyway, I like my armholes to be fitted. So even with something on underneath, because it is a cardigan, I'm gonna
Hmm.
want more of a fitted
Yeah.
uh armhole. So yep, the bottom is Modern Daily Knitting Atlas, that gray. And then the rest is hand spun. It calls for size 8s. I'm knitting it on size 4s to get gauge. Um
That just hurts.
the secret project I'm knitting right now, I'm knitting on double zeros, and I probably should have gone down to triple zeros, but I was like, I
Mm.
just can't. I just can't. Um, so yeah, that's the first thing on my needles. This is how much yarn I have left.
Yeah,
So,
that is not a lot.
once I am done with my secret knitting, which should be probably next week, I will work on this and then I'll have to spin some more fiber and we'll be good to go. The other thing that is on my needles that I can show y'all is my socks are getting heels. This is the Everlasting Gobstopper colorway, from Nomadic Yarns.
Hmm.
It is just her twisty sock base. I'm knitting this on size zeros. I started these right before SSK, and so I just did afterthoughts and then cut a stitch,
Hmm.
and I'm doing the heel. So this is the last week when y'all saw me, I was almost to the bind off point of the sock, and now I have like a very Muppet sock mouth that will be a heel.
It
And
looks
now
like it's screaming.
I
Ah!
know. It's like, yeah. I love it a little bit when it's anyway. And the
I'm
puppet
gonna make
puppet
a
stage.
screaming Muppet mouth. Is gonna be our title.
Yes. So those are the two things that I am currently working on. I think I'm gonna pick up the sweater and work on it while I'm in here. The sweater, when it's not being toted around the house, is living in a hide and hammer bag. and the sock is living in a Whimsy Stitches bag. So that is what is going on in my knitting life for the most part right now. How about you, friend?
Not a lot of knitting. It's been a knitting light week for me. Work has been very crazy. Plus I'm traveling. I don't typically get a ton of knitting done while I'm traveling. So, I have been working on, and my go-to travel bag is my hide and hammer bag that
Great for
Jude
travel. Yeah, they're great for travel.
gifted a while back. So I'm not a ton of progress, but some. So this is the um hand spun that Laura spun out of the SSK fiber for this year, which was from Kim Dye's yarn.
The Rambo
And
blend
yeah,
in the Still Life colorway, and she has it for sale on her website, both in yarn and in fiber form.
so that's where I was last week. So I got about 2 inches,
Yeah,
which is not a
great
lot, but it
progress.
is something.
Yeah,
And it is still doing its stripy thing. It's a slightly more yellowy green stripe currently, but I'm digging that it's still striping. Like, I'm happy with that.
yeah, it was spun end to end, so where the like if I was consistent, it should mostly stripe.
Yeah. So anyway, um, I'm happy with it. I did have a point where I dropped like 7 stitches in a row and some of them laddered down, so I had to fix them. Um, but it's easy breezy for the most part, no complaints. And that is living in my hide and hammer bag. And then also last week I cast on for the socks out of the Progressive Pride flag from Geektastic. And I
Yeah,
got
they're
this
gonna
at
be in
SSK.
Seattle this weekend at Flock and Fiber.
Oh, good for them. They have good stuff. I like them. They're
They
good
do.
folks. So I've turned the heel and finished the gusset on
Nice.
um, this first sock. I would love to lie and say this is my second one, but it is not. Um, but I
That's
finished the gusset,
yeah.
and now it's just straight knitting until I get to the toe.
Are those for you?
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll decide when I get closer. Get closer to the toe. It's sport weight, so it goes relatively quickly, and I'm using size 3 needles, um, which is one size smaller than the worsted weight sweater you're currently knitting. So,
I mean, as you do.
yeah, so that's basically the only crafting that I've been working on. This whole week I've been like cooking and playing with animals and stuff like that. So not a ton of crafting, and some weeks are like that. So,
How's the weather
but
been up there? Has it been
the
nice?
weather's been really nice. It's been
Good.
like cool enough to be outside without turning into SSK Leslie that is just drenched in sweat constantly. So,
The heat broke here 2 days ago and it's been very nice. It's not,
oh,
I haven't,
good.
so at the end of the day, usually when I get off bus lot duty, but I've been standing on hot cement, um, I usually send Leslie a picture of like my car temperature when I get in
The
it.
thermometer, yeah.
And it's been like 107, 110, like this whole past week up until 2 days ago, and the weather broke finally. So it wasn't even worth like I was like, and then I got my rainbow slush, which I did not get today, but the
Mm,
hot days I was getting a rainbow slush from Sonic, which tastes like lemonade and strawberries and it is just perfection.
mm.
Um, so
Oh, I'm glad that you found something that you liked. Um,
it'll be gone
I'm
soon.
it will. That's the way it goes. It's the
It's like
same
a summer thing for Sonic, so it'll be gone very quickly.
like my favorite ice cream ever is a Ben and Jerry's Scotchy Scotch Scotch, which was for like a season 10
It's
years
an
ago.
Anchorman reference, yeah.
Yes. And I want that ice cream, damn it, because butterscotch flavored stuff is hard to find and I really like it. Anyway, But you have something to show that you finished a while ago.
I do. So prior to SSK, I finished Drawn Together, which is a cowl by Sheena Lands Designs, Sheena Cohen. And I did it out of our goodie bag fiber. So, or
Yarn.
fiber yarn. So this is from Cesium Yarns,
Mm-hmm.
called the Five Spot, which is a Dolly Parton mural reference to Nashville. Um, and it's just super cute, and I could tie it tighter. It's a
Mm-hmm.
BFL silk blend, and it just knit up so lovely. Lovely enough that I grabbed a sweater's lot out of the yarn for SSK. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be a nice drapey cardigan. Um, the other yarn that I grabbed.
Yeah.
But this is nice and cozy. And when those bus duty days turn into December, January, February, when I'm out in the colds, this
Yeah.
will be a nice, I can cinch it. It's got this really cool enclosed drawstring feature. And
Yeah.
also it goes out, it increases out, so it fits nicely, and I can make it all snug. And I can go like this
I
when
was
I'm
gonna
out
say cover your nose. Keep that
Mhm.
nose more.
with the children's, fussing at them to get on a bus
Yeah.
because the sidewalk does not take you home. That's what
I feel
I've
that's
been
that's
saying
a
it a lot
better
this week.
title than Screaming Muppet Mouth. The sidewalk was not taken home. Like that is wisdom
I
right
have been
there.
saying that all week. So, you know what takes you home? Buses. You know what does not take you home? The sidewalk. Please get on your bus.
That's gonna be the title. The sidewalk does
And
not
they
take
look
you.
at me and they laugh and then they laugh and I'm like, please get on your buses. I do not want you to have to call a parent to come pick you up. So
Also,
yeah,
I have to stand here in the heat until you get on the buses.
yes.
Have
So
mercy.
super cute cowl by Shayna. And then I also have some spinning. So in case you run out of fiber, I had started spinning before I knew how many yards I spun for Leslie's sweater. And just in case, because what I spun is like right on the line of like the correct amount
What
for
I
your
would need. Yeah.
yeah. I had started a third. So the yarn that Leslie's knitting with for her sweater is 8 ounces spun end to end. And so I started a third braid. So that would make it a total of 12. Um, so finished the first 2 ounces of that, and the other 2 ounces are being spun right here on my sterling.
Hmm.
So
Your
the
bobbin does not match your wheel. Gasp.
I know.
How
You know
terrible.
why? Because that's just how life is.
Yep. That's how life is. This is true. A lot of
And then
wisdom coming from Laura today.
the other thing that I yeah, now that I'm back in school, lots of wisdom. I started spindle spinning on this adorable gnome house that I got from Alan Berry. That's all hand carved, this spindle. I was on his wait list. Look at the mushrooms.
Mhm.
A little gnome house. It's giving me like I am a child of the 80s slash 90s. Did you watch David the Gnome on
No.
Nickelodeon? Ugh, it's giving me definite David the Gnome vibes. And that door gives me definite Hobbit vibes. So, best of all worlds. It is a heavier spindle. I think it's around 40 grams. So it spins forever. And I'm using a spindle spoon my friend Andrea gave me for my birthday with it. So
It's
also
pretty.
by Alan Berry. Yep. You sit on the flat part, and then this part is where the spindle can sit. So for taller spindles like this, it is perfect. And the fiber I am spinning is a bat. I just smacked my computer with that spoon, by the way. Uh, a bat from Kim Dye's Yarn from her countdown spinning box. That was a December thing. You know, whatever.
Moving right along.
I mean, as long as I get it done before next December, it's fine. We're all good.
You should try to finish all your advents by next December.
Um, What do I have left besides that? I think that's it. I didn't do hip
Don't,
strings this past year.
don't you still have like an old opal advent and
Do have an old opal advent, that's true.
you did
Maybe
finish the woolens and nosh. Woolens and nosh?
not from this past year.
Oh,
I did
see?
from, I did from the year before, that's true. I have my knit spin farm
Mm-hmm. You
advent
did.
this year right here because I spindle spun all that as a three
Mhm.
ply. I gotta find the perfect project for this. I'm thinking something like there. Kim Dye's yarn. No. Knit Spin Farm did announce that she's doing another advent box this year. I
Hmm.
have her Tour de Fleece box that I haven't spun because it came right before Tour de
SSK.
Fleece, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
SSK season, so it came in like the beginning of July. So yeah, um, I do have some things. I have some things in this house I could work on. I know that
You do.
hard to believe. I do want to go through. I bought stuff at SSK with like patterns in mind, and I really because now I can't find anything that I bought last year because Gwen helped clean. Um, so like things that I had set as sweater sets last year bagged together got broken up, which is fine. I will find them eventually, but I want to bag this year's sweater sets together.
Right.
Because I want to work on those uh at some point. And today has been an amazing pattern release day.
Yeah.
There's been so many good sweaters. There was a collection that was released from Spin Cycle, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
It had that Amy Christopher's.
Amy Christopher's, Tiff Nealon, Jessie Maid. There's been a bunch. So, and they're all out of the worsted spin cycle dream state and maybe farmer's daughter. I can't remember now. Hold on, I'll pull it up because I feel terrible not knowing. And also I bought a bunch of patterns. So should be easy to find. So the collected slipover is yeah, it's spin cycle dream state and spin cycle spinster's daughter worsted is what they call for. So I find those super fun to spin for any pattern that uses spin cycle.
Hmm.
I think the dream state is like the 2-ply worsted, and I'm not familiar with spinster's daughter. Just says 200 yards worsted. It doesn't even give me a weight. So I'll have to look and see. But I think both of those would be super fun to spin for. And Polly Cardigan is the Christopher's.
It's Christopher's. I always thought it was Christopher's, but it's Christopher's.
Um, that's why I looked at you. There was definitely a question mark
Question.
in
Yeah.
the statement. Um, that it's very like quilt slip stitch, so I am here for it. And I had actually bought for her other similar cardigan at the top pattern. So there might be some cool. Actually, this one would be really cool to knit for my mom. That
Yeah,
might
that's a very Nikki sweater.
that might happen. She would really like that. She might get that instead of socks this year. We'll have to see. She
Yeah,
doesn't
because
watch
you
the
could spin
podcast.
it like the fleece. You could spin the fleece
Or I
for the.
could buy for the one part I could buy what is they've got the nightshades would probably
Oh,
work.
Harrisville.
hmm
Hmm.
We've been talking about doing an order from
Yeah, because I
Harrisville for
want
a while.
some daylights.
And that might be fun. So I'm gonna look up the spin cycle stuff a little bit more to try to get some more information for
Yeah.
subbing. I'm sure it's gorgeous yarn. All spin cycle is gorgeous,
Oh yeah.
but if I can make it myself,
Yeah.
it's
And
just
you
fun.
can control how much of each color is where and all that. So
And also,
um
I have some fiber in this house.
it's possible that you also have some that's been spun into yarn already.
Could
If you looked
be.
really hard, you could probably put your hands on some.
Yep, maybe. Not
Um,
hard to wait though. I typically that's more your
yeah.
wheelhouse, and fingering weight is more my wheelhouse, but you never know. Strange things happen.
I don't really have much in the way of like what I've been listening to. I'm still listening to the Innkeeper series. I'm on Maud's book. So
My
I think that's the fourth one.
library had the like graphic audio version, like
Oh,
where
like the full cast.
yes, so I got it from the public library to listen
You'll
to
have to tell me
see if
what you
I
think
like
of
it.
that.
Yeah, I could also give you my Libby login.
Um, well, the time is the thing I just don't have enough of at the moment. So,
Yeah.
um, and I'm re-listening to some or listening to some handsome podcasts when I have the time, but there's just not a ton. I've been listening to a lot of music. So, are you still reading Mercy Thompson?
So I finished one of the Alpha Omega books, third, fourth, whatever. And then I switched over to an adult fantasy book called You Can't Spell Treason Without T. So I'm listening to that audio book, which is a female fantasy. It's giving me oh, what is that name of that book with the orc? Anyway,
Oh, Legends and Lattes.
yes, it's giving me that kind of vibe, which I'm here for
Yeah.
always. And I love that book series. And then I have been obsessed with an Olympic sport called kayak cross. Have you watched it?
No, but Alicia, I talked to her a couple days ago and she mentioned it, and I'm like, that just sounds like you put a bunch of words together. Like that makes no sense to me.
Obsessed. So here's what happens. They're like on this platform,
Wait,
like,
okay, so but is the does it take place in the water? Kayak
yeah.
makes me think water. Okay, all
Okay.
right.
So they're in kayaks, they're in boats, right? And they're on
Uh-huh.
this platform and they're seated, they all have different bib colors, and usually red's the best, right? So
Okay.
for the time trials. And so they tip they say like go, and then they tip the platform and they go whoop, and they have to lean back so that their kayak pops up in the front. And then they race down this like, you know how there's ski racing type stuff
Like
where
slalom kind of?
yes, so it's a kayak slalom. So they're doing it together, but there's like a roll zone where they have to go all the way over and flip back up, and they have to go through these gates. And some of the gates they have to go backwards to come back around, and they run into each other to try to get each other like into
Whoa.
action that's like out of the way.
Is this
So
a
they can
new
beat them.
thing?
Yes,
Like
it's new this year and it's amazing, and I'm so obsessed with it.
it's like it sounds like it was made by the guys that made that show where they built robots to fight each other. What was that called?
I don't know, but I am obsessed with it. Like, and
I'm gonna have
sometimes
to look it up.
it's not so good. It's on Peacock under if you search Olympics and you do kayak cross. Like the first heats were not like really great because there was very clear like boom, these two people are going to win.
Yeah.
And so they weren't really like fighting. But there is a point in the men's like preliminaries where a guy flips and his kayak gets like caught, and they have to go rescue him
Oh,
as well.
that's
It is
hardcore.
it is intense, and I am obsessed with
I mean,
it.
okay.
uh to the point where I've been like watching kids in library that don't have schedules and stuff made.
Right.
And so like I was like, we are watching this. And they're like, no, let's watch 3-on-3 basketball. So we watched 3-on-3 basketball instead. But I was like, instead of just sitting here, let's watch the Olympics.
Yes.
So yep, obsessed with kayak cross. I'm also obsessed with how awesome people are at donating books for my library.
Yeah.
So thank you, people. I was putting them in. I was first off, the kids are like, I have a homeroom type situation happening this year.
Mhm.
It's called advisory. And so today I was like, it's supposed to be like community building and stuff like that. And today I was like, today's community building is going to Miss Linneman's car and getting Amazon boxes out and opening them.
So it's
And
like opening presents.
yes, it's like Christmas Day. They were super excited for the books. The boys were more excited to stomp on the boxes to break them down. Like that
That's
is
one way to do it.
peak middle school. There were scissors. There was the ability to just pull the tape up and like break them down. Oh no, we have to jump and stomp. What it's peak middle school boy
I mean,
entertainment.
that's getting some of their energy out. I'm sure their teachers after that appreciated it.
So y'all thought you were just donating books to the library. No, you're also donating middle school boy entertainment purposes through the stomping of boxes.
Hmm.
Originally trying to punch open the boxes, and I told them no, that there were books inside, and that would probably hurt.
Yeah.
But then they told me they
So
didn't have football today. It's tomorrow. So they had plenty of time to heal. I wish I was 12 again sometime.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Like,
Like I got this bruise like 4 days ago, and it's still just as big as it was. like,
and you probably got it by
just happened.
looking at something.
Yes, I was pulling a weed out of a garden and
Yeah.
got bruised. So yes.
Yep. But thank you all so much for the books. They are so excited. They've been trying to grab Dogman before I even have it in the system.
Catalog or whatever, yeah.
Yep. So I've been working feverishly to get everything cataloged. And they are just so stoked. They've already checked out a bunch of the cookbooks that I got in, and
Hmm,
they are very, very excited.
that's
And
awesome.
told me it was like Christmas and not just because they got to stomp on boxes.
So I'll try to remember to put the link again at the end of this show. Laura um, is, for anyone who's not aware, we talked about it last week, but Laura is a public school teacher in a very underfunded state. And her children are very interested in checking out books, but she doesn't have every book they want. So she has a wish list
And we
to
keep
links
adding
to
to it
Amazon.
because they keep
Mhm.
like today, we've already started doing checkouts. They came and asked for some books that I didn't have. So I added those to the wish list.
Yeah. So if anybody's feeling froggy and wants to donate, you can click the link. It'll either be here at the end of the show, or you can go to our website, TheKnitGirls with 3Ls.com, and it'll be in the show notes at the bottom.
Y'all are so sweet. And they
Um,
appreciate it.
yeah, and I mean, anything that gets kids to read, like
Absolutely.
anything. So, um, yeah, that's basically all I've got. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. We have some Patreon stuff coming up in the next
No.
couple weeks that we'll be emailing out about.
Mm-hmm.
Two bail alongs, one of which is stained glass type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Glass mosaics, I think they were. And
Yeah,
then
so we've done something sort of like it before with like a grout tile situation, but not quite. So yeah,
yep. And we have plenty of other pipe cleaner flowers and some other stuff to choose
all
from.
sorts of stuff. So we'll have two fail alongs this month, and the normal monthly VKN, which will be the last Sunday of the month. So,
Yep,
but
right before we go to Wisconsin.
yes, and there's a quilt thing that's the day before Wisconsin Sheep and Wool starts, so that's cool.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, we hope you guys have a good week, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye,
Bye,
all.